Well, first I just want to say thank you for using my service. It really helps me out. I know you're my #1 fan, but still, I always really appreciate your support. So thank you. We're going to watch the videos in real time first, and then we're going to watch them again in slow motion, and then I'll point out more stuff on the slow motion parts. I only have 4 of your videos on here instead of 5 because it was too long to have 5. So I have 2 Zeke and 2 of Jimmy on here. You're doing pretty well with him, Ingrid. I mean, you guys are new to each other, and he doesn't run a lot like Jimmy. So you're having to go through a learning curve with him, which is normal. So try not to be too hard on yourself or you get too frustrated, okay? He moves out away from you a little bit easier than Jimmy does. So you need to sort of think about that. You're going to have to try to be ahead of this dog as much as possible. Okay, so let's watch it again in slow motion. It's good. You want to make sure you have a start line stay with this dog. I think he's faster than Jimmy, but I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so one thing that makes this part a little bit difficult is, well, besides the fact that he jumped off the dog walk, but can you see where you are relative to the triple? So, I mean, this tunnel mouth is lined up directly from the triple. But what can happen is if you're too close to the dog walk this way and you're going to have to go around the triple a little bit, it could sort of send a dog this way. Okay, so that's just something to sort of think about. You need to think about your line and how it's going to affect your dog's path, okay? And both of your dogs turn into you and look for information from you. So you need to be aware of that, okay? So he comes off the dog walk, and you see right there, let me back up. I mean, you weren't expecting him to jump off, I'm sure, and that's part of it. But you are still going straight at the triple. And now he's ahead of you, and now you're veering a little bit. So he turns this way after he takes the triple, because for a few reasons. Because you were starting to sort of veer this way from the triple, and you're behind. So when you're behind, most dogs will tend to turn in towards you, okay? So that, even though the judge tried to make that part of the course really easy, that was sort of a tricky part about that. So you get him in there, you do a front cross, good. That was a good place for a cross because you have time to do it while he's in the tunnel. Now this part, I want you to see he's pretty much even with you. And look at, you're running straight this way. But where does he, and he's already looking at you here. So, but he needs to go that way. So that's why he misses the double. Okay, he's just coming with you, and he's going to assume he's going to the A-frame because it's the next closest thing. What you could have done back here is you get him over, as soon as he's over that jump, the next jump is this one, right? So he's over that jump. You could have just kept your arm up and taken off and made a line this way to the double. Would have made it a lot more clear. But see, you just kept running this way. This part was tricky to get a front cross in before the teeter. But you probably should have tried to do one at the bottom of the teeter. Even if he's not going to stop, it might actually help him stop too, is if you just get down in front of him and do a front cross there. Now, it looks like You were going to try to do a cross here, and you chickened out. Look, you even start to rotate. Don't chicken out. Don't let him scare you. Just do your cross, fight for it. You have time, and then look what happened. I mean, you're sort of lucky he didn't jump off the A-frame from the side, okay? Looks like he needs contact work like a lot of our dogs. So that was nice. Again, I would have tried to get ahead of him while he was in the weaves. You only need to be ahead by like one pole and do a front cross. It would have made the ending a little bit more straightforward. Because what happens is, look, you're both coming this way nicely. I mean, he's coming that way because that's what you're doing. And then when you get to the other side of the jump, then you have to push his path. And he responds to it, but it would just, you know, it would have been better if you could have put a cross in there. Okay, so now we're going to watch Jimmy real time. Same thing, you're kind of stuck behind that triple. He does a good contact, good boy. He goes straight in though, but it also helped that he stopped on the contact. This part all looks really nice. Now, he actually sort of looked like he was looking at something over there. It's kind of bizarre. But your line was a lot better than it was with Zeke. Again, a front cross there could have probably avoided a lot of that, gotten him more clearly to the table. I still think you could get a front in there before the A-frame. You get a front in there, you barely get it in, but you get it in. So you're capable of getting up there and getting it in if you really feel that it's warranted. Okay, so now we'll watch it in slow motion. We'll watch some of it in slow motion. Okay, this part was actually pretty good. Jimmy read it pretty well. I mean, you pretty much did the same thing you did with Zeke, but I think, you know, you and Jimmy have been working together for years, so Jimmy he reads you a lot better. You do a front there. You do this part really nice. Again, you could have sent him to this jump that he's taking and come and run down this line. But you can see, I don't really know why he did that, Ingrid. I don't have a good idea. I mean, you were sort of pushing him that way. But I don't know. That was kind of odd. I'm not sure why he did that. And again, if you had just gotten up and done a front cross here, it could have avoided this, and you could have gotten him on the table a lot. He would have understood more what you wanted to do. He went to the table, but you were still moving this way, so he just went past the table. And you can just get a little bit ahead on the teeter and start a front cross rotation before he's even in the end of the contact and get a front cross in there. Now from here, from the table, you could have, with barely coming this way, you could have sent him to the chute and just gone over this way so you could get that cross in. You don't come in too deep. It's not too bad. But you could have done a cross right now and gotten it in there. You guys, you have to remember, you guys have a lot more history together, and he's going to read your cues better. The rear is okay, but it's kind of bobbly, and he was looking at you, and he wasn't sure where to go. So it was just a little iffy. And I don't know if you'll pull him out of the weaves, but if you get one pole length ahead... Oh, you were on the other side. Never mind. That was great. Good job.